day and welcome to EDMS, where we try to make engineering, graphic and design as simple as possible. In today's video, we will look at the freehand drawing component of the 2026 Civil PAT. So let's get started. Prepare neat detailed freehand drawings of the floor plan layout of two possible design solutions for the proposed new building, including all the features and the walkway. Each freehand drawing must show the correct presentation of all the building features. This is all the wall thicknesses, doors, and all the permanent fixtures, the roof lines, as well as the primary dimensions and labels. Calculate the total area of the building, excluding the walkway, and the total floor area of one of the classrooms. The calculations must be clearly shown in a table on the drawing sheet as part of each freehand drawing. Now take note of the following. Grid paper must be used to assist with the preparation of the freehand drawing so that all features and fixtures are drawn to proportion. The grid paper used must be included in your PAT file or portfolio. So you're going to add it in as part of your evidence, so make sure that you put your grid paper into your file or your portfolio. All aspects of the freehand drawing, including dimensions, labels, tables, and possible information blocks, must be prepared using only a pencil. The use of any other drawing instruments, this is like rulers or compasses, will be penalized. So please do not use any drawing instruments. You will be penalized. The electrical layout and the wastewater disposal system are not required on the freehand drawing. So luckily for you, you don't need to show any electrical layout or wastewater disposal. The freehand drawing must be prepared on either a A4 or a A3 drawing sheet. I prefer an A3, but you have the option here to do it on an A4 if you want to. No borders or title panels are required for a freehand drawing. All the freehand drawings must comply with the guidelines and graphical symbols contained in the SANS 10143. The drawings must provide clear evidence that a high level of competency has been attained in the freehand drawing method. Now let's have a look at the marking rubric for your freehand drawings. Building with all rooms and areas, 2 marks. The covered walkway and roof line, 2 marks. Correct presentation of all the building features as walls, windows and doors, 2 marks. All fixtures including toilet, urinals and wash basins, 2 marks. The correct presentation of all fixtures according to SANS, 2 marks. The relative size and proportion of all the fixtures to each other, 2 marks. Primary labels, 1 mark. Primary dimensions, 1 mark. Total to 2 marks. 2 calculations shown and within the specification, that is 4 marks. And then the design or functionality and effective space utilization, 2 marks. So each freehand drawing has a total of 20. Your teacher will then divide it by 2 to convert it to 10. So in total, the 2 freehand drawings is going to count 20 marks. Now let's have a look at how you can prepare your A3 page for your freehand drawing. Remember, they stated that you do not need to put a border or a civil title panel on your freehand drawing page, but you need to use a grid paper. If you go to your workbook, it can either be the HSE or the JPGD. You will find an orthographic grid paper at the back of that workbook. You're more than welcome to use that, and you may also go on the internet and download a grid paper that you can use. I'm going to use this grid paper, which is from the HSE workbook, one of the old workbooks, and I've made a copy of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to draw the actual freehand drawing on this grid paper because these grids are too dark. What I will do is I'm going to take this grid paper. I'll only be using the orthographic grid. We're not doing an isometrical drawing. This is for the mechanical. But I'm going to take this grid paper and I'm going to put it underneath my A3 blank page. So you can clearly see here that grid paper shines through onto my blank A3 page. That grid I will be using to draw my vertical and horizontal lines. Now I will advise you, before you go to your freehand drawing, I will do my first design on a exam pad. So get out a piece of paper where you can do some rough sketches, and on here I will make a rough design of what I want to draw. We know that we need to give 2 classrooms, a bathroom for boys and girls. We need to give a staff room, a kitchen, sick bay, covered walkway. We need to show the roof detail, all the doors, windows, walls with their thickness and hatching, and then lastly all the fixtures according to SANS. Now you're going to have a rough idea of what you want to design here. I'm not going to give you an idea. You need to come up with your own idea to the best of your ability. Now, let's say you have your idea here on paper. I'm going to set this aside, and I want to then make sure that the idea which I've put on paper correlates to my freehand drawing. Now, remember, everything here should be done by hand. No instruments are allowed on this page. Now, although these freehand drawings don't need to be on scale, it is important and very crucial that you draw it in proportion. So what you can do is you can give an area scale or proportional scale where you show that 4 of these blocks is going to be 1 meter square. So that's 1 meter by 1 meter. I remembered that they've stated that one of the classrooms should have a floor area between 65 and 70 squares. Keeping that information in mind, I can then now go and draw the length and the width of that classroom. We want to keep it under 70 meters square. So I'm going to say 10 meters and 7 meters in width, and that will give me 7 times 10 is 70. So I want to go 1, that's 1 meter, 2 blocks is 1 meter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So using the lines of the grid paper, I will be doing my freehand on those. I'm just going to do that one light first because I will maybe put a window in there to show you how we need to show a window according to Sans. This is then one classroom. I'm just going to divide it here with a light line. Close it down here as well. And then we have a second classroom. So it's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm doing this light first because there's still a lot of information that you need to add, like doors and windows, but I just want to get the layout first. So that is how you're going to calculate the size of each room according to your area scale or proportional design. So we have a classroom 1, we have a classroom 2. Remember, you need to divide it with a room divider. So unfortunately, I can't show you how you're going to do that because that is something that you need to research. And you will then put in that symbol of a room divider. You will put in between the two classrooms. But what I can show you is the following. They've stated that you need to add in windows in your classrooms. Nice big aluminium windows. So let's say we're going to put an aluminium window in here. I'm going to make the thickness of the walls a half of a block. And when you give a window, remember that you need to show the window sill. So if you put the window into a wall, we show the wall thickness and then we also give the window sill and we add in the window frame, and don't forget about the hatching. This is the correct way to show your windows on your floor plan. When it comes to doors, you're going to have the walls. You can put in the door frame, put in the thickness of the door, and give the swing of the door as well. When you put a door in on an external wall, remember that you need to give that line there as well to show the step into the building. So that is the door, that is the window. When it comes to the sanitary fixtures in the bathroom, we give the symbol for a water closet like this. This is the symbol for a water closet, WC. This is the symbol for a wash basin, WB. This is the symbol for a urinal, a U. And this is a symbol for a zinc that we still need to add in the kitchenette at the staff room. So make sure that you use these symbols on the floor plan. When you put them in, make sure that they are proportional to one another. So if you put in 3 toilets, they all should have the same size and proportion. Let's put in a window over here. A nice big window I'll put in there. Close it up. And there's the thickness of the wall. Remember, when you put in the wall, you must add in the hatching. Hatching is double line spacing, double line spacing, double line spacing. This hatching is for a brick wall. Double line spacing, all the way around your floor plan. I'm just going to add in the window frame. And there's an example of a window on a floor plan. Remember that each classroom must also have a sliding door that needs to open on the covered walkway. Now, a sliding door, we're just going to half it and half it, and then we need to give the sliding direction of one of the panels. So you can say that that door opens to that side. So you need to put in a sliding door at each classroom as well. So I'm going to put one quickly here. Please make sure to take your time with this. I'm just doing this a bit quicker for this video's purpose. Just to explain to you what you need to do. Okay, so there's a sliding door and then something of a 2 meter wide walkway that we need to add. If I use my scale here, it's going to be 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I will close it. So that will be my covered walkway as an example, okay? But you still need to add your bathroom and so forth and so forth and so forth. Make sure that you label each room. So in capital letters, I will label this as class room 1, and this will be class room 2. We need to give the area of each classroom as well. So I'm going to say this is 70 m square and 70 m square. Now we don't need to give electrical symbols and we don't need to give the sewage water pipes. That is not applicable to our freehand drawings. What we need to show is the calculation of the area. The first one is one of the classrooms, and the second one is the total area of the building. So I'm going to set up a table for myself. I will put in a header of room and m square, and then we can say room. You're going to list all of them here. Say class 1, class 2, the staff room, the sick bay, the bathroom, the kitchenette. All of that should be 260 meters square, not more than that. So we're going to say that is 70 and 70. And you then need to put in all of your areas in there and show what is your total. But you need to show evidence of your calculation as well. So you can somewhere down here make a block to show your calculation for the classroom 1. Where you say it is 10 meters or 10,000 millimeters times 7,000. So you can convert that 10 meters to 7 meters equals to 70 meters square. Okay, you need to show that because you're going to get marks for that. You need to give this table with the total so that we can see that as well. They've also specified that you need to give primary dimensions and labels. If you label each room, you'll get your label marks, but you need to give primary dimensions. That means the big dimensions, length, width. You can give a few of them. I would put in 5 dimensions. We know from there to there is 2,000. They specify it in the scenario that the walkway has a width of 2 meters. You can then say that this total is 20,000. You can use your blocks as guidance because you know one block is a half a meter. So you need to give dimensions, you need to give your labels. Remember, this is just an example to show you what you should do when it comes to the features and how you should show your windows, your doors, the sliding doors, and the calculations. Do not forget to show the roof detail. You're going to show the roof detail by adding dotted lines. And remember, you are going to have an overhang at the ends, so the dotted lines should go past the wall. So you're going to put the dotted lines in. This shows the detail of the roof. You'll do the same on this side, and then wherever the pitch is, the highest point, you will put that in on the floor plan as well. Everything nice and freehand. If your roof runs in this orientation, you put it in according to your design. So don't forget to put in the roof detail. Just make sure that your dimension lines does not lie on top of your roof detail. Also, give your freehand drawing a title like option 1 or freehand 1 or solution 1, so that you have a title at both of your options. Always refer back to the marking rubric to make sure that you tick all of those boxes. Please make use of your own design and do it to the best of your ability. Always refer back to the marking rubric and the scenario or to my previous videos to make sure that you adhere to all the design specifications. Remember one thing also, they've stated that the bathroom should be in the one end of the building and the staff room at the other end of the building. Where you put it is up to you, and it needs to be accessible from the covered walkway. Okay, so you can work with that, make your own 2 designs, and then I'll see you in the next video where we'll explain the selection process. Cheers, I'll see you then.